Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into the exciting world of textiles, but with a global twist. We're talking imports, exports, and everything in between. And to guide us through this maze of fabrics and regulations, we've got insights from RoleCatcher, a company that's using some pretty cool AI to shake up the job market.
Yeah, it's definitely not your grandma's textile industry anymore.
So true. So we know these specialists, these import-export specialists, keep those fabrics moving around the world. But what's a typical day really like for them? What are the things that keep them up at night, and what gets them excited to get to work each morning?
Well, imagine this. One minute, you're navigating the organized chaos of a textile warehouse, surrounded by bolts of fabric. And the next minute, you're on a video call negotiating a major deal with a supplier halfway across the world, maybe in a completely different time zone. It's a fast-paced world where no 2 days are the same, that's for sure.
Wow, sounds like they need some serious multitasking skills. But beyond just the fast pace, what are some of the unexpected, maybe even hidden complexities of this job?
Well, it's definitely more than just knowing the difference between your silks and your satins. Let's take customs clearance, for example. It's not as easy as just signing a form and shipping those fabrics off on their merry way.
Oh, tell me more about that.
You're talking about navigating a maze of regulations, tariffs, and documentation that's enough to make your head spin.
I'm already feeling a little dizzy. So walk me through these documents. What kind of paperwork are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking a whole symphony of documents. Think
Right.
commercial invoices, packing lists, certificates of origin. Each one is absolutely crucial to make sure things move smoothly across borders.
And I'm guessing even the smallest mistake on those documents could spell trouble.
Absolutely. Even a tiny error could lead to delays, fines, or even worse, shipments being held hostage at customs.
Oh, wow. That sounds way more nerve-wracking than my last online shopping spree. I'm starting to understand why this role needs a special kind of person with a really unique set of skills. It's clearly not just about loving textiles, right?
You got it. It's about being a master communicator, a cultural chameleon, and a logistics ninja all rolled into one. You're the vital link between suppliers, manufacturers, customs officials, and really everyone in between.
So we've established this isn't a job for the faint of heart, but for those who are up for a challenge and who really love textiles, what are the rewards? What makes this a dream job?
Well, for starters, let's talk about job security. The global demand for textile experts is absolutely exploding.
Really, that big, huh?
It's huge. Think
Yeah.
about it. Every single clothing tag you see, every little label represents this whole intricate journey that an import-export specialist helped navigate.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. That's a really cool way to look at it. But okay, beyond job security, what else makes this career path so exciting?
Okay, picture this. You're sitting down for an amazing meal, maybe with some incredible pasta, and you're discussing textile trends with suppliers, say in Italy. Then, the very next week, you're on a plane and you're exploring the fabric markets of Southeast Asia, seeing firsthand the craftsmanship and tradition that go into those beautiful fabrics.
Okay, now you're just making me jealous. It really does sound like an incredible opportunity to travel and experience different cultures.
It's true, and it's not just about sightseeing, right? It's about building real, genuine relationships with people from all over the world. It's about understanding different cultures, different ways of doing business, and really becoming fluent in this global language of textiles.
It sounds like it would really satisfy anyone with a serious case of wanderlust. But let's be real for a second. RoleCatcher also highlights some of the challenges of this job, right? It can't all be glamorous business trips and beautiful fabrics.
Oh, you're absolutely right. This career path definitely has its hurdles. Like we touched on earlier, the world of international trade regulations is constantly changing, and that can be a major challenge.
So how do they keep up?
Honestly, it can feel like you're trying to learn a new language, but the words are always changing. You need to be incredibly adaptable, resourceful, and always eager to learn new things and keep up with those changes.
So a love of learning is non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. And then there's the whole time zone juggling act. I mean, when your suppliers are just waking up in Asia and you're trying to wind down your day, it can make for a pretty interesting work-life balance.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any other potential downsides that someone considering this career path should be aware of?
Well, yeah, there's one big one. Competition. The textile industry is incredibly competitive, always has been, and the world of import-export is no different. To really thrive, you've got to set yourself apart.
How do you do that? In such a competitive field, how do you stand out?
It means having that deep understanding of the global textile industry, being a master negotiator. This is a big one. Having a real knack for solving problems,
Mhm.
often on the fly. Because trust me, in this line of work, unexpected challenges, they're not really unexpected. They're just part of the job.
So you've got to be cool under pressure. It sounds like what we're hearing is you need a passion for textiles, a global mindset, the patience of a saint when it comes to paperwork, and probably a very strong coffee maker. What else? What other skills are absolutely essential for success in this field?
All of that, for sure. And besides what you just mentioned, communication skills are key. I mean, really, really key. You're always interacting with people from different backgrounds, different cultures. So being able to get your ideas across clearly, being a good listener, building relationships, it's crucial. Remember, it's not just about the fabrics, it's about people too.
It sounds like you need the diplomatic skills and ambassador.
Hmm.
So what about when things go wrong? Because let's be honest, in the world of international shipping, things are bound to go wrong at some point, right?
Right. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. That's where critical thinking and problem solving come in. You have to be able to think on your feet, troubleshoot, find creative solutions when those unexpected, or maybe I should say expected, challenges pop up.
Resourcefulness under pressure. Got it. So we've got strong communication skills, expert level problem solving, the ability to decode those complex customs forms, anything else. I feel like there's got to be at least one more thing.
You know, you're right. In today's world, especially with technology constantly evolving, there's one more essential ingredient: tech savviness.
Okay, let's talk AI. Imagine a program that can tell you exactly which fabrics will be trending next season in Paris. That's the kind of power AI is bringing to the world of import-export, and RoleCatcher is at the forefront of this revolution.
Exactly. We're talking about AI streamlining those complex supply chains, predicting market trends before they even happen, and even, this is pretty cool, automating some aspects of customs clearance. This technology is totally changing the game for these import-export specialists.
So high-tech textiles, huh? It sounds super futuristic. But really, how is all of this new technology actually impacting the everyday work of an import-export specialist?
Think of it this way. Imagine having a virtual assistant, but like a really, really smart one. One that can look at mountains of data, I mean tons of it, and in just seconds tell you the absolute best, most efficient way to ship something, or maybe even warn you about a potential problem in the supply chain, before it even happens. That's the kind of power AI is bringing to this field.
So it's not about replacing jobs. It's about making these specialists even better at what they do. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But with technology changing so rapidly, what does it mean for someone just starting out in this field? Do they need to be like a coding whiz on top of everything else we talked about?
It definitely helps to be comfortable with technology, of course, but I think it's more about being adaptable and willing to learn new tools as they emerge. It's kind of like when a new social media app comes out, you don't just ignore it, right? You figure out how it works, how you can use it to your advantage. It's the same idea here.
So be tech savvy and be a lifelong learner. Makes sense. Speaking of moving up in the world, RoleCatcher also maps out a typical career path for an import-export specialist, right? What does that progression usually look like?
Well, you usually start by learning the ropes, assisting more experienced specialists, figuring out how to navigate those first few shipments on your own. It's kind of like a textile boot camp where you're building a really strong foundation in the essentials of import-export.
Paying your dues in the world of shipping containers and customs forms, I get it. So what's next? What happens after boot camp?
Once you've gotten some experience under your belt, you'd likely move into a junior specialist role. Here, you'll take on more responsibility, maybe handling some transactions independently, building relationships with suppliers, even negotiating some of those big deals.
Wow, from rookie to rock star. What comes after you've conquered the world of junior specializing?
Well, that's when things get really exciting. You could become a senior specialist, which means you're the go-to expert, you're overseeing multiple projects, maybe even leading your own team. And you're responsible for making sure everything runs smoothly, from keeping up with all those crazy regulations to optimizing supply chains for maximum efficiency.
So you're like the conductor of an orchestra, but instead of instruments, it's textiles. Is that the final curtain call, or is there more? What about those with even bigger ambitions?
Uh, for those with a real strategic mind, those who love to lead, there's the coveted role of import-export manager. This is the big leagues, where you're setting the vision for the company's entire global trade strategy. You're identifying new markets, negotiating major deals, and leading your team to success. It's a role that demands a deep understanding of the global textile landscape, incredible leadership skills, and the ability to navigate those tricky waters of international trade.
From mastering those detailed documents to shaping the future of a company's import-export strategy, that's quite the journey. But in such a competitive job market, how can someone really make their application stand out? How can they get noticed?
That's where RoleCatcher's AI platform really shines. Imagine a tool that takes your resume, analyzes it, and tells you exactly what skills and keywords those top employers are looking for. It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Wow, it sounds like RoleCatcher helps you navigate that digital job search battlefield and come out on top. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of textile import-export. We've covered so much today, from those nitty-gritty details of customs to the huge impact of AI. As we wrap things up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important takeaway is this. The world of textiles is constantly changing. It's global, it's dynamic. But even with all of that, it really comes down to people and the connections we make.
I love that. And for those listening who are feeling inspired to explore this career path, remember that platforms like RoleCatcher can give you the guidance and support you need to weave your own unique story in the amazing global tapestry of textiles. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, happy threading.